Using the microphone because everything is recorded, because I'm paid. And so this is me. Hi, I'm paid. So now you're supposed to do this. Hi. I'm paid and I'm an audiophile. I've been listening to audio for quite a while and I can't stop somehow. And because I love audio, somehow it makes a very nice feeling in me. I get very anxious, but I get also a little bit excited. I started recording stuff, mainly myself, because, well, the best subject to do recordings in is yourself, because you have full control. So I've been recording and editing some audio, mostly radio plays, for example, but also podcasts, before it even was called podcasts. I've been also recording soundscapes. For you that don't know what it is, soundscapes are like recording the things you already hear in the common world, but when you hear it back in a place where you don't expect it, it's kind of wonderful. So, for example, a park. When you listen to that on your closed headphones at home, or for example in your office, you'll hear something wonderful because you hear things you were seeing but you were not perceiving. So all of a sudden you hear bikes running by or children in the distance. So that's very nice. I like to make stuff like that. And I've been video recorder and also vlogger or something. I'm not sure how to call it. This is the guy I've been doing that the longest time with. This is Vasilis. He and I had a weird video production called Car Wash, or Going to the Car Wash, which was basically our excuse to tell people the truth about how the web and the internet and marketing and digital stuff should work. And basically we've been doing that from his car. So we were on the way to the car wash, and that was the time we had to talk about all things evil and good on the internet. So this is kind of my ideal girl, I guess. I mean, the girl is nice, but I really like the headphones, right? And the records, yeah. So as an audiophile, you have like these things that you can really be annoyed about, but also things you can be thrilled about. And I can really remember the day, somewhere I think in 2000 or something changed in Amsterdam. I'm from Amsterdam, right? I live in Amsterdam, not from Amsterdam, and I heard this.
Station Legula. Overstappen op de lijn 50, 62, 63 en streekvervoer en trein. Vergeet u straks niet uit te checken. Please remember to check out.
This man. I'd like to carry his children. I'm sure his children are way too heavy, but man, I mean, this.
Weer en vaak overstappen op de lijnen 17, 63, 69 en 61, behalve na 8 uur 's avonds en op zondag.
I could listen him reading the phone book. His voice is so nice. And in particular, the people that designed these trams in Amsterdam, they took so much care that this will sound good. And I'm really thrilled that they changed to that from something like this.
Jongeman, wil jij niet bij die deur staan?
Because that was the past. And thank God it's the past. So let me tell you about some heroes of mine. This guy, he's my hero. He's standing at NASA. NASA is awesome in any case. It has to do with space and with speed and with air, because they do also a lot of aeronautic stuff, right? And he's standing in the world's largest speaker. So he's standing inside world's largest speaker. There is sound that this room can make that nobody can even hear or imagine. But if you stand there and it goes to 11, you'll die, basically. And he's playing a guitar. It's really wonderful. This guy. Who knows this guy? All right. Good. You're all wonderful people, I'm pretty sure. So the people that don't know this guy, this is Mr. Gruhl, and he was a drummer in an obscure little band somewhere in the 90s, and he's leaning against a monument of the 90s. He's leaning against the mixing console of Sound City. And Sound City was the place where all the big rock bands in the 90s were created. This sound you have all heard. This was the really nice sound all the toms made, the tom drums made. It was awesome. And this guy, he saved Sound City, Sound City couldn't be saved, but he bought the mixing console and he put it in his own studio. So the sound still remains, which is awesome. This lovely lady, she's called Delia. She's also very nice. She's a bit older, and she made stuff at the radiophonic workshop of the BBC. And she's awesome. She created sounds that never have existed. And the same goes for this guy, by the way. This is Ben Burt, which kind of sounds like a sound itself, but he makes wonderful stuff. I'll get back to this person as well. And this is Mr. FX Twin, for the people that don't know. Once again, a person that just defines the audio and sound all over again, right? So we all know sounds, and all of a sudden this guy makes stuff most people will cringe about, but some people will also wonder how this can be, right? It's something new. So this is the product of Mrs. Delia. Who knows this sound? Oh, not that many. So this is the introduction of Doctor Who. It's very nice. And this sound was never heard, right? This is created from pure electronics. That's it. Okay, let me tell you about somebody else that broke the mold in sound. So this guy, they made a program about the piece I already quoted in the screen, Le Sacre du Printemps. They made like a very nice, how do you call it? Like a journal about this particular piece and why it's special. And I'd like to make you listen to it, because Radiolab can't just do it awesomely.
And then we get some tutti of flutes, and it's lovely. It's getting a little more disturbing. And then about 3 minutes into it, everything changes. There's just an earthquake.
So this sound, this sawing of sound of violins and of all these instruments, this is the first person that ever did that. And people inside that were listening to this, they went mad, literally. They left the building and they couldn't get fast enough out of the building because it was horrible. This sound, they never heard that. This tense emotion that was overwhelming them. It was horrible. So he went on.
Stravinsky plays this chord. There's a great story that when Diaghilev, who was the head of the Ballet Russe, first heard this chord, and Stravinsky was playing it on the piano for him, he asked Stravinsky, how long will it go on like that? And Stravinsky looked at him and said, to the end, my dear. And it literally does.
And it does. And it's, by the way, the productions of Radiolab, they are quite wonderful. And this is the only way you should listen to them. In the dark, covered by blankets, with your headphones on and shades on. This is the only way. But it's so wonderful. They take care of audio in a new way. So let me ask you a question, because audio isn't everything. There's also sight, right? So who listens to movies actively? So you put the movie on and you walk away and just hear the sounds, right? Yeah. So let me get back to Mr. Bird. He made this. So imagine this conversation at the makers of Star Wars, because this was a fragment from Star Wars, the newer incarnation. They had this conversation. Oh, we need to make sounds, right? We need to make the sounds of engines. Interesting. Let's make a sound, and let's just change it a little bit. Okay, that sounds fine. You know what? That doesn't cut it. You know, we're going to change the atmosphere in which the sound is created. So rather than just making new sounds, no, they designed the atmosphere, so the gases in which this sound is transported. So rather than a sound going vroom, it says and everything goes like that, right? So everything goes in that particular moniker. It's like a filter going over all the audio. So this is the guy that made that happen. This is still Ben Bird. He's a very nice guy. And he also talks about how he made sounds. And he also made the sounds of the early Star Wars movies. And he's really nice. All the sounds are nice. So here's like some of the sounds. Okay, so all those sounds are made by a person in rooms like this. So this is a guy that make like this lightsaber sound, for example. You know, he made it with a microphone and a speaker that make like a humming sound, and he was moving the microphone alongside the speaker. So the speaker said and the microphone was passing about and making the Doppler sound, right? Like it's really nice. They also recorded that. Yeah. All right. So sound is emotion, right? But it's also science, it's feelings, it's bad feelings. But it's also tinkering. So this Mr. Bird made he tinkered a lot. And some more feelings, and also electricity. It's very important, electricity, because without that, we wouldn't be here. This wouldn't sound as good as I might sound in real life. So let me show you a bit of work I do. I'm a director also, so I make videos. And this is one of the things I made. And let me just...
Wilt u zorgeloos op pad? Organiseer uw reis precies zoals u wilt. Uw reis bekijken, wijzigen en gemak en comfort toevoegen. Het kan allemaal met Mijn Reis. U vindt al uw vluchtgegevens. Kies uw favoriet.
Okay, enough of that. So the sounds that you heard, the voice, by the way, is Anna Drijver, very lovely person, very handsome lady. Can't say anything else. Yeah. But the sounds behind her voice were also nice. So this is how it sounds without Anna or the music. So I made those sounds in my bedroom, by the way. All of them. And yes, there was actually an ironing board that you heard. So, and when you do stuff like this, you can also muck around for a bit because, as I said, Anna is cool. So she made like the really serious version. But
wat dus elke keer makkelijker eigenlijk. Als bijvoorbeeld het land waar u dan naartoe gaat, zeg maar, als u die extra informatie nodig heeft, dan ziet u dat gewoon meteen. Uw account onthoudt uw informatie, zodat u de volgende keer alleen maar hoeft te controleren. Nou, kortom, maak een account aan op klm.com voor extra gemak voor en tijdens uw reis. klm.com maakt uw reis steeds makkelijker.
So, for the people that don't understand Dutch, this you might as well. Yeah, you missed out. I'm sorry. So these were several accents, Dutch accents, I might add. And tinkering and enjoying stuff like this is very important. I do some tinkering myself. I make stuff up. I don't make that much stuff, but I do know how to make stuff. So these are some of my ideas. I do some vacuum forming. This is actually something I made. These are knives that I vacuum formed. I built the vacuum form itself. If you like to know what it is, just Google it. You'll find out. It's wonderful and it's quite easy actually. Just need a vacuum and an oven, something like that. And I do this with this lady. She's over there also. This is our minimum form of augmented reality. So we don't muck around with glasses. We just make like transparent things, and we use felt point things. So if you want to know more about that, just go to lekkersamenklooien, which is roughly translated as tinkering together. It's quite nice. So one of the things I tinkered was something that might be interesting for our deaf guest. This is a haptic. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a haptic T-shirt. So I was wondering. So you have like audio, and which deaf people can't hear, but they can sense with a lot of other parts of their body, right? So I thought, for example, let's make like the bass sounds. Let's put that around your midriff with large engines that really thump a lot. And like the higher sounds with really subtle little engines that move very smoothly but fast, right? So that way you would have like the feeling of articulation, like really sudden moves, but also like the really comforting feeling of a bass. And that's something I really liked. I'm not sure if it can be made or if it's you can perceive sound like that, but I would like to try. Okay, so the one thing I'm moving towards is what if we had this really nice console, right? The console of Sound City. What if we had that thing and could apply this to reality? So rather than having the sounds sound like we hear at the moment, why don't we just change it or change the mix or something like they do in the studios? So that brings me to the top secret project, which I came to bring. This is the Efteling. Here we were filming some stuff, and we were filming it for a project that we really wanted to do. So Efteling said, We have a hackathon, which is basically the way to say we don't have an IDs, come bring us IDs for free. And we thought, yeah, why not? Because we have plenty IDs, and IDs should be free, right? So that's why I'm telling this. IDs should be free. But actually executing those IDs is very hard. So that's why I'm telling this, because the probability of one of you actually making this is either very unlikely, or if you do, I'm your best friend. Right. So this is the pitch. I'm sure I'm going over time, by the way.
De Efteling is voor alle generaties een unieke plek vol magische verhalen en sprookjes. Maar hoe kunnen we de beleving van de Efteling beter maken zonder de essentie van het park te veranderen? Wij denken namelijk dat het nog persoonlijker en handiger kan. Daarom bedachten we de verhalenverteller. Het is een persoonlijke clip met daarin NFC, Bluetooth LED en een heleboel sensoren. De verhalenverteller helpt mensen samen meer van de Efteling te ontdekken.
Het belangrijkste element aan de verhalenverteller is natuurlijk geluid. Als bezoeker van de Efteling heb je continu muziek en verhalen om je heen. Maar met contextuele audio voegen we een extra laag aan die ervaring toe.
De verhalenverteller weet waar je bent, met wie je samen bent, je leeftijd en welke taal je spreekt. Met die informatie reageert het park op jouw situatie. Het vertaalt bordjes, update je over de rij van je favoriete attractie en activeert sprookjes of karakters in de buurt. En natuurlijk zonder gedoe met schermpjes of apps, want die leiden alleen maar af. Maar wel met open koptelefoontjes, zodat je ook je omgeving hoort. Met een park vol verhalenvertellers en alle big data die daaruit volgt, leert de Efteling natuurlijk zelf ook. Dat is goed voor de Efteling en haar gasten. De verhalenverteller. Slim, samen, meer genieten van de Efteling.
So this was our pitch. We thought it was really nice. And we were invited actually to present our ID. Because this was just our rough ID, right? So we made a video of it. But we wanted to do this even better. So basically, I'm going to explain this for the American people that didn't understand all the Dutch. Basically, we wanted to add something to the experience of the big family park, Efteling. And we wanted to do that with audio because we thought audio is less intrusive than screens, for example, right? You don't want to walk around with your mobile phone constantly blocking out your family or the attraction that you're actually going to. So audio. So we have some sliders, if you will, like of the big mixing console. So we have your ambient sound, you have your family, you have sounds that go with the attraction. You have narration, for example, like the stories that are told, and you have music. But you also have something called perception, like where things are coming from, or why things are there, why you hear stuff, basically. So there are things that do this, basically, right? So you probably know it. These are the little devices are handed out in museums. You're guided through the museum, but you're isolated, basically. And in this case, my friend Robert, he can't even read the little tiny screen. and the lanyard is way too short. So he was having trouble getting distance between himself and the screen. But the audio is quite nice, right? But it's linear. You don't want that. So I thought up something called augmented audio ears. And this was basically the idea. So we wanted to supply every member of a family, when they come into the park, with a couple of ears, like personal ears. So you get to the elf ear doctor, and he says, who are you? And what kind of language do you have? And who are your family members? And you get this particular piece of set of ears. And each member of your family gets that set of ears. So how it works is basically something like this. You know, who knows noise cancelling headphones? Who does have it? Yeah, everybody has noise cancelling headphones. So this is a very interesting piece of kit because it has microphones. It listens to what it perceives as noise, and it cancels it out by supplying your ears with anti-noise. So it makes noise, but because the other noise was already there, it negates it, right? So with this technology, you can also do other stuff. You can also, rather than negate the sound, you can change it, for example. Or you can modify it or delay it and stuff like that. So we want to do stuff like that with these ears. So there's a little computer in there, just like the Bose. And there are a lot of microphones in there. And there's a hi-fi ear thing in there. And also a lot of sensors, because we want to know, are you near to other people? Are you near to your friends, your family, attractions? Location is very important. And we also want you to have like interactive stuff. So for example, if you don't have them on, you still want to know if there's something noticeable in the neighborhood, right? So we thought something up like, let's put little engines in the ear so it would curl up when something is near. So you would know even when you don't wear them. Or it would like pulse or something. So, by the way, this is just an elephant ear. I would imagine there's also like other ears of other mythical animals. Sorry? Yeah, Mickey ears. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I did Mickey ears, the people would like sue me. Yeah, with a passion. So in the park you would have like hotspots that would actually trigger some sounds. All right. Let me just put you out of your misery and let you hear how such a thing would sound. So it's like a build-up, right? Lit with all the sliders. So we have like, first you have just the Parc sounds. So you hear stuff like this. It's really subtle. You can do stuff with that. But you also would hear like the voices of your family, right?
Oh, hey papa, ik ben een reus. Ik ben een hele grote reus.
Ik geloof dat ik een dwerg ben.
There's some imagination to be had, of course. This little boy thinks he's a giant, but we don't know why. So let's make it more exciting, because we need some music, right? Efteling also has music, but let's imagine there's particular music that comes out of the ears.
Ik ben een hele grote reus.
Ik geloof dat ik een dwerg ben.
Makes it a little bit more exciting, right? You have like this, it pulls you in. And that's actually the thing you want to do with narrative devices like these ears. You want people to experience the story rather than just listen to it with the museum things. All right, so let's add some narration.
Ik geloof dat ik een dwerg ben.
Hey Floor, would you like to be an elf?
Ja, ik wil best wel een elfje worden.
So she would like to be an elf. So narration, right? Okay, this is not we're not there yet because it misses something. We would like to have some more experience that actually things that you ask, for example, because I would imagine people would like Siri the ears up, right? If you use Siri, you ask stuff. So these ears should work like the same, right? So you would ask stuff like, I would like to be an elf, and it would happen. So how would you know? Well, let's add some effects.
Hey Floor, would you like to be an elf?
Ja, ik wil best wel een elfje worden. Ja, wat mooi. Mama, zullen we vliegen?
Ja, schat. Pas op die reus.
So the imagination grows and grows. And with these effects you have like this, right? Little cues that makes it extra nice. So if you mix it all together, you get something like this.
And when the family entered the park, they also started to change somehow.
Oh, hey papa, ik ben een reus. Ik ben een hele grote reus.
Ik geloof dat ik een dwerg ben.
Hey Floor, would you like to be an elf?
Ja, ik wil best wel een elfje worden. Ja, mooi. Mama, zullen we vliegen?
Ja, schat. Pas op die reus.
And all of a sudden, they were standing in a large, invisible and magical cave.
So you also heard like the augmentation part, right? So the voices of everybody change. And that's something that can be done because you have like microphones in the ears. You would listen to your own ears. It would also have like connection with your jaw or with your head. So we'd know exactly when you were talking by the vibrations. So it would cancel out everything else, listen to the thing you would say, process it, and change it into like this other sound. So it can be done. And by the way, also projecting the same sound to your parents, of course, and to all your family members. So this is a very nice thing. Let's get something practical because most people in the Netherlands also talk Dutch. But a lot of visitors of the Efteling talk like American or English or Japanese, for example. So these ears would make it possible, right?
鏡よ鏡よ鏡さん。世界で一番可愛がるのは。
お願い、キスで目を覚ましてほしいの。白い羊から連れ出すように。
So that would be really nice, right? And I could imagine stuff like the Dutch narrator saying, hey, it looks like we have some Japanese guests. Let's say hello in Japanese. And it would happen, right? And the Japanese people would like interact in new ways around all these things that are already happening in the park. So that's basically this augmented audio thing. And I want to make you remember this audio most of the time. I'm not sure if you know, but if you improve the audio of like video, for example, that's why my recorder is running right now. So the recording of the video is also very nice in audio. It improves the video. People actually say the video is better, so the image is better because of the audio. And that's something we really want to use in experiences like this. The thing is this possible? So at the moment we have like these headphones of Bose, so we know a little bit is possible. But I think it's really hard still to make. And our offering to Efteling was at the time, let's tinker and let's make it happen. Let's try it out and see what the boundaries are, what the possibilities are. And so this is the thing that I really wanted to do, but unfortunately not with the Efteling at the moment. So I'm going to do it myself with some colleagues and some friends and just try out how far we can go to make this happen. Because I think when this happens, and it will happen, just like augmented reality, which is pretty much only vision at the moment, it will make augmented reality so much better and so much more magical. And that's actually the thing I really go for. So to conclude, I'd like to thank some people. So this is the team that worked on the ID. I'm not the only one. This is Nick. He couldn't be here. Yeah. And this is Tony. He's the video guy in Smart. This is the Japanese girl that you just heard. It was really nice. And I would also like to thank my very special friend, Astrid Poot. She sits over there. And she made the wonderful drawings. And she also helped with her family. So the family that you heard in the audio recording was hers. And if you want to reach me or do anything with me, this is the way to do that. So I hope you liked it, and I hope you want to start to make some magic also with audio, some audio magic. Thank you.